Welcome back, folks. Mangalores from Fifth Element from Temu. Let's get to the table. So fresh out of the package, they're gray. Got those tacked onto a board here in a top-down borderline Zenithal with this kind of dusty sand. And first off, we're starting with this flesh wash, just kind of putting it on everything, not just the flesh, but the whole body. Kind of a starting level of getting all those details to pop. Sometimes painting your minis can be a daunting task because you want them to look amazing, but you also don't want to be spending hours and hours painting them. So this challenge, it dawned on me that they're kind of a boring paint scheme actually. They're all kind of this tan, kind of deserty color, and I figured that I might be able to get away with just some speed painting on this, and I wanted to show how quickly you could have good looking minis on your table. So being that they're this kind of tan color, we're starting with this light wash, covering all of the armor and all of the skin with that same color. The Mangalores are kind of an interesting creature. With the director, he actually put out a call asking for large guys more than 6 feet tall, with an oddly shaped kind of sloping head. And that had to be a weird call, right? We need people to look kind of like Neanderthals. And then during the development of the creatures, there were so many servos and stuff in those heads, little motors and pulleys and whatnot, the costume designers ended up going back to the director and was like, hey, can we put some armor on their back? In a means of which to hide all that mechanism. So on the second pass through, we're going to go ahead and do just the armor again here. We're going to be darkening up the armor here because the flesh of their face and hands is not the same shade as their armor. So we're just making that detail pop a little bit more, making that a little bit darker. The price point on these is kind of great, about $12 for all 6 of these. That certainly saves you some money when you're trying to get yourself a squad on the table. And you know, clearly Mangalores are not exactly in any existing game system here, but I thought they might be great proxies, like, I don't know, mercenaries or something. Super fast paint job on the guns, just block it all in with some black. You see me using my wet palette there just to make sure that we get a nice thin coat of paint on there so we don't glob in a bunch of junk into the details. And then next we're going to get going with some of the detail painting, a little bit of bright silver just to highlight all of those weapons and maybe some buckles on those guys. As this is a dry brush thing, I'm bringing out my dry brush palette. We're just going to get a small amount on a small stiff bristle brush and just make the details on those guns pop. Now I have of course sped up this video, but truthfully I have spent a long time painting minis before, and these guys were super quick. I think this was maybe one extended session sitting down, one Saturday afternoon maybe. Now I'd love to tell you what to go look for on Temu for these, but I'm sure they had some sort of dodge the legality of intellectual property name like Space Trolls or something. So I mean, if you decide to go looking for these on Temu, you just might need to look for a while. There's a bunch of different things that I'm sure there's borderline legalities on these things. They got some Star Wars stuff too, and some Warhammer, which again I'm wondering, this isn't exactly legal, is it? And of course in the back of my head I have Newt Gunray. Is it legal? And then Palpatine, I'll make it legal. We got a little metallic mohawk on this guy. So those of you that have asked for more aliens, here's a bunch of aliens. I have some more of that stuff coming up too. There's always more stuff on the bench. So what would you use these guys for? Would you use these as mercenaries? Would you use these as rebels? How would you use them on a table? Comment below. dawned on me as I was painting these rifles that they look remarkably similar to some Nerf guns. So of course I did paint the one guy out, I'm sure you saw in the thumbnail, with a Nerf gun. And I kind of find it amusing. Is he so dangerous that all he needs is a Nerf gun, or is he so crazy they don't dare give him a gun? I kind of find some amusement both ways on that. Time for that obligatory comment. Hey guys, if you like what I do and you want to see me more often, go ahead and hit subscribe. That helps me out a lot, helps the channel out a lot, it helps you out a lot so you don't miss something cool coming up, because I do try to show you how to save some money on this otherwise expensive hobby. Alright, enough with the plug. Now, if you have come around here before, you're gonna be familiar with me saying there's lots of people to show you how to paint stuff, and generally speaking, that's not something that I would be interested in, is showing you more painting techniques. But I have picked up a few tricks in this hobby here, so I would be glad to do another painting video if you all wanted to see how I painted something else up.
And then last here, just a little bit of a flesh tone dry brushed on the face and exposed hands, just to kind of bring the shine off of that and make them look a little bit more fleshy and less shiny here. I think that overall it was a quick paint job, pretty straightforward. Right close to 12 bucks on this. I ordered a bunch of other stuff on Temu when I got these. Makes $2 a piece on these is a wonderful price point when you look at other platoons and whatnot in other game systems. They range anywhere from 30 bucks to 100 bucks depending on what system you're playing.